You thought you could escape me,
I can't wait for
Mr. Captain?
Sam.
Wait, what was that song that you said you were putting on?
Explanation.
Yeah, I'm choosing ones from the game. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
make sure.
It is from the game, yeah. One of the first ones in the OST.
Yeah.
Alright, go over a few things.
An organic body.
Go over a few things. First of all, there are some screen space stuff. It's very mild, and only at certain points. So, should be fine, especially since you're desktoping.
Even if I was on VR, I wouldn't care.
Two things.
And the actual laboratory that you'll be starting in is inside Lothric. It's not in the shutdown, it's a lab that Lucas rented out within the larger Lothric city.
Gotcha.
And basically, Luca put out a ping through the shutdown network, whatever the fuck, for anyone who was interested, that, hey, I'm done working on the time machine. We can do the testing now. Sorry, it's a bit late. And if you're curious, the watch is currently reading about 1 o'clock.
We should be more than dead.
It's close. Not till it strikes noon. Now.
Alright.
I'm excited.
Basically, his explanation, if you've asked him in the last few weeks, is, I think my calculations are probably wrong.
I wonder what else is probably wrong.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna test the rules he laid out and which ones are actually just fucking bullshit.
Smile.
I'm gonna get my list of rules out. There we go.
I'll pretend like I don't know anything. Don't worry.
Alright. It's time to fuck around and find out. The entrance to the map is over here. Hello?
What did we miss?
I've got all my kit set up. Got one of your fancy universal portal thingamabobs set up here, so you can get to that wasteland universe we scattered out.
Yep.
And on the other side, I've put together a ye old time machine. Should be functional.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's safe for me to join you. Unlike you lot, I don't have a protection from this stuff. I could very well paradox myself, unlike you lot. So I think it's safer if I don't get involved directly. I will be communicating through a comm system, though. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's sold.
A couple functions already built in the time machine. It's very limited in range because I was limited in how much time I had to build it. It can take you to basically back in time to the morning, more or less, and then back again. It's about midday, relatively speaking.
Okay.
Additionally, it's programmed that you can send it back on its own into the past, and then it will fire out a high-frequency microwave which should knock out some of the water in the nearby oasis, kind of a desert. And that's to test if what happens to the past change while you lot are still in the present, so to speak. Shouldn't do anything harmful. You lot have a protection from this place, from what I've seen. So, hopefully you don't paradox yourself. Alright, portal's open.
Hopefully not. Okay.
Ready to be erased from my universe? It'll be fun.
Yep. Totally this that. First time through
Is
one
this
like
your
that.
first time?
I've been through plenty of portals, but
Is this what he talked about?
Yeah, this is the place we found. Complete barren wasteland. No
Test, test, is the comm working?
life. Hello. Yes, it is.
copy that.
It is.
Read you loud and clear.
Good to hear. Alright, there's a bio lock on the machine, if you want to just use that immediately. It should be locked in with the rest of you.
Alright.
Ah, yes. A metal tomb.
Yep. Alright.
All aboard, I guess. I'd recommend closing the door behind you.
What's the worst that could happen? We all fall into cosmic space?
Not exactly.
No.
Obliterated. There they are.
What do we do now?
Central console has the main mechanism.
Okay.
There we go. Right.
Check, check. Everything's still
Open the door.
functional.
Yep.
Copy
use
that.
it.
We're not obliterated
Alright.
yet, so that's good.
Work.
Relatively speaking, you have not moved in my present.
You're
Should be
definitely-
early morning. Can you confirm?
Yep. Confirmed.
Yes.
Alright. Try changing something and then we'll bring you back to the present, so to speak. Maybe draw something out in the sand.
Hold on. His right arm turns into a nanite blade, it cuts the tree.
The tree topples over.
Let's go.
Alright.
What did you do?
I cut down
Chop
a
down
tree.
one of the trees.
Alright. There we go.
You would see the tree is still chopped over. It's actually settled into the sand a bit over the past few hours, relatively.
Hmm.
It was not like that when you first arrived.
Alright, the change
Alright,
that we
considering you
made,
haven't paradoxed
remained.
anything, I'm assuming it worked.
Correct.
Yep. Hmm.
What do you remember? Let's be specific about figuring out how this operates. Was the tree like that when you first got here, or was it upright?
Nope. That was
No, it wasn't
upright.
like that.
We changed it and made it fall over, and it remained so after
Interesting.
traveling back.
I'm gonna make a quick roll real quick. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see your footprints from when you first arrived in the sand. But as you look at it, you can see momentary pauses and like a couple steps this way. Steps you didn't remember taking before heading back over to the time machine. As if they were looking at the tree.
That's weird. Look. Footsteps that we didn't make. At least.
It's all hypothetical. Hypothetical footsteps we could have made once we return.
Interesting.
Avoid that spot. Next time we're there, see what happens. See if they're still there.
Alright.
Let's try it then.
By all means, avoid it. Keep that spot subconscious in your head no matter what. Don't stand there and see if that's a permanent thing. Likewise. Who wants their turn with the button next? Yeah.
What's our plan?
The tree is still knocked
Avoid
over.
See if
that
this
spot.
fits.
Oh boy, this is gonna get real wacky.
Alright.
Now, I am gonna warn you. I've currently got a safety protocol on the time machine to prevent you from, running into yourselves. It won't go into a position it's already been in. That can be turned off if you want to push it that far later. But meeting yourself might cause, well, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Might be fine, might not be. You should be fine whatever happens, but this universe might not be.
Alright, so that would probably be the last thing we want to do.
Aye.
Just in case.
Brings that.
See what to test. I could. June is going to pop one of the joints off of her finger and let that part of her nanites just lay in the sand.
Okay.
Alright, gonna leave that there. See if it does the same thing to part of me. And what else could we test?
Make sure that thing doesn't move no matter what. Just so just so the results actually see if you still have control of it.
Yeah.
Oh, as if you felt like you have control of it.
Because normally I'd be able to have it, chrome back, so we'll see if that's the case.
Well, you're always technically connected to it, so we'll see how this functions.
That actually poses an interesting test.
Open the door.
momentarily, as you step out into this point in time, all three of you feel like a slight wave of nausea. Like a slight sense of vertigo for a second, and then it fades.
Okay.
Strange.
Got a sense of vertigo. Alright.
So let's check that finger of yours.
Yep.
As you walk over in the sand, you see your own set of footprints in the sand. From when you had first arrived, you could see it from the where it originated. And move their way over here, and you could see where you had obviously kneeled down next to where you had left your finger, and the finger is currently not there.
Huh.
However, as you think for a second, you suddenly feel like a pressure in one of your pockets. As if it was something's in there. Reach in.
Huh.
You pull out the finger.
Very
It's
strange.
all hypotheticals.
Interesting.
Let's get into the ethics, shall we? You two are here. Technically. I'm not.
Oh, what do you mean?
Get in the time machine and we're going back to the past.
I have an idea of what Cronus is doing.
Okay.
Open the door. Close the door and activate the machine.
How do
Copy
we...
that? Alright, get back in.
Oh boy.
Remote chassis. Have fun.
We
Alright.
might need DMs for this.
Press the button. So, pause. From your perspectives in the time machine, you just activated time machine and it's perfectly normal. You're back in noon. I'm gonna go talk to Cronus what his perspective is. Cronus, the time machine activated and you've just sat here for like a couple of hours as the sun came up. Luke has been talking with you on the comm, trying to keep you company. And eventually the machine reappears in a flash of ultraviolet light. Alright, RP continue. Continue.
Alright.
Looks like they're back. Check on comm. Your thing hasn't desynced or anything. Check.
Check.
Hello?
Yeah, you've been gone 2 hours, from our perspectives.
Ah.
Interesting.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Adding footprints.
We've just been sat here for about 2 hours waiting for you to show back up.
Yep. Fascinating. Nothing new. Strange. I figured I would have seen that alternate version of myself or something. That was
I will quickly handle that real quick. Stand by, pause. That's a good point. You would have actually. Yeah, stand by. I need to actually describe that to you. So, when they had arrived, you had seen every single step you've taken thus far again. But this time, like, they had obviously noticed you. You had a pleasant conversation with yourself. It was very disconcerting. The universe did not implode around you from doing so. And they repeated the steps. You just stayed out of it, I assume, to prevent time shenanigans.
Correct.
They repeated the steps you'd already seen taken, slightly differently because of your presence. And then now it's the present.
Do they
Continue.
remember it, or is it just him?
You remember it. The others do not.
Well, interesting. Do you recall what happened?
We
What do you
stepped
mean?
in there, pressed the button, now we're here.
Yep.
Now that is interesting. It doesn't actually affect us due to how long we've been exposed to the metaverse. Most likely. Look. He just has a hall projection from his, all these eyes.
It displays a
Shows
recording
the
of what I
events.
just described. Cronus meeting himself, very amusing.
Interesting.
Yet our actions here are the exact same. Amusing. Any other experiments?
We can send the machine back on its own and try and use the microwave to knock out the oasis.
Well, this place is
And it'll be
already-
interesting to see what happens if we send the machine back on its own. From my perspective, it might end up just being 2 hours of you guys just being missing while the machine catches up, or something else might happen.
Oh, don't worry, I'm okay with being the guinea pig in this situation after all.
Let's fuck around and find out.
Chassis.
Alright, you should be able to activate the remote function from the pad.
Alright.
Alright. We're in the
We're
future
trying to
then.
find out.
Here we go.
Water's gone.
Real time for me still, no dilation. No time has passed from my perspective. I see that. And the machine's moved, probably because of how far back we had to send it. You would see, the machine was sent back maybe a good couple of days to get this effect. And you can see footprints from your former selves again, like coming up and inspecting this other machine. And you see the imprints left by the original machine, where it was.
It's all hypotheticals. It's not actually us. See, from our perspective, we are doing this all a certain way. We're the originals, by all means. However, imagine a scenario where we came here and this machine was already here.
So, multiverse.
Technically. However, they don't technically exist either.
Your presence here dictates otherwise. If
no-
it's a multiverse, then this wouldn't be the perception. More likely a single timeline changing and it just not affecting you for whatever reason.
There is no other us. It's us. However, it's changed, but it doesn't affect us due to the circumstances and scenarios we've been thrown into. Our universe, at least the metaverse, is so fucked, and the environment and the conditions are so fucked. It doesn't know how to interact with us properly. Most likely.
Alright, well. Last test we can possibly do is turn off any limiters.
The last thing,
Paradoxes.
beyond that, the other things I want to test is taking things out of this universe and then changing the universe with those not present. You know, kind of what's happening to me.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. We can test that too. That's
Easy, hold on. Shaking the fucking palm tree. See if there's
A
anything in it.
coconut falls out of the tree.
Grabs it. Take this back.
I want to test something myself. I want to stay here.
Go ahead.
you want to stay here? All right.
Yes. No, I'm gonna hand you this gun. Take it.
Well, we might be waiting another 2 hours, would be my guess about what's going to happen.
That's fine.
Is it possible we could reverse the effects of the water? Because if we could do that, get a sample of water too.
I mean, the water's gone. Microwave sorted that.
Permanently.
I mean, unless I could send the machine back to give an undo code to the other machine that you originally sent back, which would probably bring it back, but, you know. We're getting
fine.
lasers
This
here.
is already a good enough hypothesis.
Alright, opening portal, throw the coconut through. Alright, coconut's through.
All right.
Machine is still reading 100% functionality. A couple days here has not broken it.
Take care of that gun, please.
Oh, trust me, they're going to.
Alright.
Hit it.
I'm gonna do something stupid.
You invis.
I invis?
Yep,
First of all,
you
do I meet
invis.
my previous self at all?
You are still in the present. No. They are
No,
now in the
okay.
past. Alright, continue. Alright. Test. Who is the current... Okay, you're currently on my, what do we say, temporal line, so to speak. No time's passed for me. And I've lost communication with your friend, so it looks like I can't exist in two places at once on the time stream. As an outside observer. Interesting. It must follow the person furthest back in the timeline. Would be my guess.
Watch this.
I'm observing the coconuts.
He hits the same tree and looks at
The
the same
coconut falls. Coconut just got a lot more scuffed, covered in a lot more sand.
Yours did.
Yes.
But I'm still holding this one in my hand. Alright, watch this. Open the portal.
Portal opens.
Pay attention to yours, because you still already have one. He throws the second one through.
Oh, the first one's gone. The moment it came through, the other one instantly disappeared.
Fascinating.
Same instant.
Fascinating.
And there's another one. When did that one get there? The different coconut.
Keep it open.
Just in the back corner over here. Hold
Come
on.
through eventually.
Hold on. I just did a quick electromagnetic scan on it to just determine how long ago it came through the portal. According to this is the first one you threw at the portal, but it just appeared. The other one you threw through just now is the other original one, quote unquote, but it just came through now. There's 2 coconuts in here.
It's just
Potentially, since you threw that coconut through, your past self wouldn't have thrown that coconut through. They would have found a different coconut and thrown that one through, and that's what this other one is.
But I still remember throwing that. Fascinating. It completely.
And according to the cameras, it was all. According to the cameras, it's the same as my perspective. The coconuts just disappear and just swap out, so to speak.
Right. Alright. Let's go back. Rather than not leave our friend to sit there and rot.
Yeah.
I have a question for the DM though.
Yes.
Do I see the time machine just disappear?
It just disappeared from your perspective and reappeared a few seconds later.
And
And in that brief couple of seconds, Luca was off-comm. You lost connection to them.
Is it so? Is it
Actually, no.
Does it reappear before they
Hold
get
on.
back?
That's actually very interesting. Hold on. From your perspective, they went in the time machine.
I want to tell them
It disappeared.
They're going in the thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pause when you activate the machine. By the way, pause when you activate the machine when you return.
Well, what I wanted to do. So if the machine appears before they get back, I'm going to activate the machine.
It's only gone for like a couple seconds because like it leaves the present, went back, and then it returns from the present 2 seconds into the future
Yeah,
for
so
safety
then-
precaution.
Yeah. So then, do they walk through the door?
Well, that's about to be the present
So yes.
as they return. Additionally, you would, for those 2 seconds, Luca would come back on comms having at the tail end of that conversation, and then they reappear and then continue. So return to your model. It's been about 2 seconds for you. Luca sounded very flustered on comm when you reconnected. And then it is the present. Alright, continue. Okay, that's very interesting. Alright, from my perspective, you lot hit the button to return to the present, and the moment you disappeared, I managed to reconnect with your friend for about 2 seconds, and then you reappeared in this point, and now all 3 of you are back on comm. So yes, it must follow the person furthest back in the timeline.
Interesting rules. So. Go back to God first and foremost, but. Interesting. The coconut theory works. Sort of.
I've got 2 coconuts here right now.
Theoretically, you could send back the other time machine, right? So we could have 2 of these? Theoretically, right?
Wouldn't it just get rid of the other one?
If you send yours back
I have an awful
from...
idea.
You'd have to go into the past and then use the previous version, but that's gonna get weird if you end up paradoxing, because if your past self couldn't use the time machine, none of the events that led you to the present could have happened, and that could cause problems. I'm not sure what exactly would happen.
That's why.
Let's not do
cause
that.
problems.
All right, time travel back, remove the original time machine before you arrived, and then
Are
time
you
travel back to the
sure
present.
Any of you want to do this? You're both. This is not a remote chassis. You're organic. I'm losing nothing if this chassis burns.
I'm never one to turn down information.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright. I'm not going to require you to press the button. Because you're just going to go and come back into DM pause anyway, because this is something I can't represent on screen. Obviously.
Okay.
So, what happens is as follows. You time travel back to about, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes ago, before you ever even arrived in the present, so to speak. And then you went to the other time machine, and then you sent this time machine back to the present, and then used the other time machine to then travel to the present again. And you return to the present. Coming out of pause.
Open door.
Let's get out of here.
Alright, nothing exploded on my end.
Yeah.
Again, a wave of nausea for a split second. And then a sudden shift in timeline. So, pause. As you return to the present, the timeline catches up with you. As there was never a time machine in the past, you could never have done your time travel experiments, so your fake versions reposition. This time machine ceases to be, because this time machine is the one after the experimentation, and ceases to be. The time machine you sent forward is currently sat where this one is sat. For the sake of just, DM fiat. Actually, since the experimentation never happened, I'll just click this button again. It was never sent back to the past. The water is still there. And, additionally, you are currently searching for the time machine, or it would seem. Your memories are still as they are, as you've just experienced, but you find yourself suddenly in different places. As the time machine activated, you suddenly found yourself just sat in the sand, looking around, like some of you on your knees, trying to like dig through the sand in this area. As suddenly, everything just snaps back to reality. From your perspective, you were just sat in the time machine.
That's interesting.
Nothing's broken on my end.
Okay, that was weird.
Both coconuts are also gone, by the way. Both coconuts are gone.
Now we know the rules of that. How many safety parameters are there on this?
There's one to prevent you from meeting yourself, and there's another one that is, I can't turn that off because it's the range limiter. If you go past that, there's a chance it just implodes, and you end up in a black hole. Not kidding. Range is about 2 days. Either way. To note though, that's per hop. You could go back further, but it would take multiple hops. But each time would take progressively more and more energy. Until the point that the machine would not be able to power that anymore.
I don't think any of us want to get stuck. That's an obvious.
I can pull you back wherever you are in the timeline, theoretically. The portal is separate from the machine.
Let's not test it.
Aye.
That seems chaotic.
So we could send.
Any thoughts about what's happening?
Certainly confusing.
Trying to piece things together here. Okay.
Oh. I have an idea. Come on.
What's that?
Can you explain us that idea before you do it this time?
I'm going to take the coconut from the past, put it in this time machine. See if it's still there. Take an object from the past, put it back here.
But the coconuts are both gone from the lab right now. They disappeared the moment you did the whole back and forth from the present.
Mm-hmm. So they have to be right there. Again. So, even if it's a long shot, at least there'll be something. Actually, good theory to prove besides that is someone grabbed the coconut.
The morning or the midday?
Morning.
Scoops up some water
Yeah.
and seals the wood. Alright. Let's see what that does in the time machine. See if it gets evaporated or, this or that.
So you bring something from the past into the present. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Take one. And keep note of that tree you take it from.
Okay.
The next theory after this is when you do the reverse. Press it.
The coconut and the water sample are unchanged.
Alright. So, obviously the things are probably gone, right?
As you look, they are not present.
Okay, this is-
The coconut is missing from the tree. The water sample harder to tell.
Easy to see if it got like warmer at all, or anything changed about it at all. You can see any.
No change. It is chemically exactly the same as when you had brought it with you.
Alright. Pick a different tree. Say this one. This one has all the coconuts. I had it before. Knock one down. Take this one and bring it back to the past. Can you bring something from the future into the past? That's the question.
I mean, you've been doing that every jump with yourselves. Good to test
An
though.
item.
Yeah, something from this. Because.
Something from here.
It'll also be interesting to see what happens at the future. We could also have its future self and its past self present at the same time and see what happens if you change the past self or the future self is present.
Correct. This is also my testing form for your reality. If you were to enter back into your reality, Luca, then by all means, if this test works, then it's not only just metaverse standards, but it protects.
Let's go see that.
Same tree.
The coconut is sat in the tree.
Knocks it down.
As the coconut is knocked to the ground and it hits the ground, you suddenly notice on your coconut, it suddenly gets a lot more scuffed. Like a blink and you miss kind of deal, just instantly changes.
Fascinating. Grab that one. Stab a hole in it. And show me the exact position you do it so I can watch.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep an eye on mine.
Yeah.
As you poke the hole, an identical hole just suddenly appears, and stain marks around where some of the liquid has obviously spilled out over the last couple of hours.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
Well, that confirms that self-consistency is not applicable, because your observations are changing in real time. It also means that free will has some kind of power here. It can't predict your actions and adjust for them.
Let's see.
Try bringing the two in contact, maybe. I wonder what if the past and present interact
Sure.
directly.
Touch them together.
I think
They hit them with
As
each
they
other.
make contact, a feedback loop occurs, where the present affects the past, which affects the present, which affects the past, which affects the present, which affects the past. In a rapid moment, as they make contact, there is a sudden, and the things repel from each other as a sudden dent in both in the point of contact.
tomorrow.
Are there a dent on both sides because they were parallel?
Yes. On the present, there is a dent on both sides. In the past, there's only on one side.
The past is only affected partially.
Rather,
Go figure.
the dents
Past
on the
it wasn't
present
picked up,
is
so-
is the one that was on the past, but the present got another one from that interaction just then. Theoretically, you could use this to send information forward and back in time.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering. What if I took... She pops off part of her finger again. What if I took this? Yours is the one in the past, right? Or wait, no.
We're currently in the past now, so you have the ones in the past.
Okay. I'm going to put this in here. Drop.
Plunk. Shredding. It's time for Schrodinger's cat, everybody.
And...
Oh no.
As you reach in, you pull out a finger that is a couple hours old.
Pull out yours. I'm holding this.
she's gonna try to pull out...
As you pull it out, the one in your hand immediately disappears. Same effect as when you mess with the coconuts, it just disappears in a blink.
Interesting.
Try putting it in and pulling it out at the same time.
Alright.
Alright.
Mimicking.
3,
No.
2...
2, 1.
As you pull it out simultaneously, for a second, you both pull it out, but instantly as June pulls theirs out, the one in Kronos' hand disappears.
Fascinating. A millisecond delay.
The moment it left this coconut, your one disappeared as well. Same instant.
Hold it in there.
Okay.
Don't let go of it. Put your hand and hold it.
There is no hand in yours.
Down.
It's tied directly to them. The universe can't predict if they're going to hold that exactly for 2 hours straight.
They're holding
in.
a finger.
My finger's in.
You see
Okay,
nothing in
hold it
yours.
by the
Sorry, because I'm
50K.
still holding on to it.
Nothing.
Okay, so Only when it's
Schrodinger's cat.
detached and... Is it when it's out of sight? Hold on, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And detach the finger. And continue.
The moment the finger detaches, you suddenly see within yours it appears. Even as they keep a solid gaze on it.
It's detached. It's here.
Okay, well, I'm looking at it. So,
It's here.
it's... Only once it's...
Must be
left-
based on if it's connected to you?
Yeah.
Maybe it
yeah,
can't
so-
predict your
yeah.
actions. So if it's connected to you, it's directly related to your actions. Thus, it can't affect the future. Not until an action has been completed, maybe. Of just actually leaving it there.
Oh, I have an idea. June,
Mm-hmm.
keep it in there. You can theoretically feel a remote link to these nanites, right?
Yeah.
So, when they're both in here, can you feel both of them?
Let me try.
Do you feel them both and also neither? Whichever one you are observing is the one that is there, but you never observe both at the same time.
Schrodinger's cat.
Okay.
It is either in this one or it is in this
do
one. It
both
is
of them
never
at
in
the same
both from your
time.
perspective.
I
Try
can't
looking
look
at
at them
both.
at the...
Ah, sweet.
Alright.
Put them next to each other and look into them so you can see both.
Fingers.
Okay.
And a quantum probability has just collapsed. Well done. Rolling.
Yep.
With a 15, as you observe both simultaneously, forcing a quantum probability, suddenly the coconut from the past becomes intangible and just falls to the ground.
Huh.
It's preventing you from interacting with it. You've locked in a probability. You can't change that. It's preventing you from changing that.
Odd.
Interesting. So observation does matter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, your finger is now 2 hours older.
That's
The
fine.
original one is now intangible.
That's
It's
alright.
stained. It is stained with coconut oil.
Okay. What now? That was a lot to take in.
Any more
I
tests?
know.
Yeah, Ruka. This is for your hypothesis on how to survive, after all.
I'm trying to think. Let's go over what we've figured out so far. If you would, take it away.
Okay. So we figured out that if two things are observed, well, we lock in a probability and the past
Well-
becomes unchangeable.
It's Schrodinger's cat. If something isn't perceived, we can't determine whether it's there or not there.
Yeah. And
But also, it's only when it's dealing with
Okay.
something from your universe. When you were messing with the coconuts earlier, it showed no such sign of effect. You were observing both, and making changes to the past, and it was instantly happening on the present. But the moment there was something from your universe that was being observed in both, it collapsed.
You mentioned we had some kind of protection, yes? That could be...
Your
just
universe your universe
working.
has no past or future, only the present. Thus, your past there is no past for you to change. You only exist in the present. Which would also explain why your memories don't change. Because your past, since your past does not exist, it can't be changed. Thus, your memories cannot be changed from the past, so to speak. And since you have no
Okay,
future,
so
this place can't predict what your future will be. So your actions have an immediate consequence in the present. They're not predictive. Not self-fulfilling, so to speak. One last thing.
Nothing like time travel on a Tuesday. Yeah.
Like I said, we can only enter and exit universes at divergent points. This universe just happens to be in a perpetual one, so we can enter and leave anywhere. But if my theory is right, if you take something out of this universe that has the capability of observing some kind of living organism, just maybe take a leaf with you. If you were to take that leaf with you, we shouldn't be able to go into the past from when that was taken. Because then we could change your universe's present, so to speak. It's a theory, and from what I've seen, it might be wrong.
Let's see.
And that has a lot of implications.
Take a whole last one, big one. Or just a small one, an entire fucking.
The leaf falls and hits the ground.
Alright.
Alright, opening portal.
Got it.
Stand by for extract. Everybody, I want you to put your hand above your head, click, and then press the confirm return button that appears. I'm gonna go help them. There we go. I'm gonna switch back into Luca real quick. Stand by. Welcome back. Extraction successful. Alright. Now, I'm gonna try and opening the portal to an earlier point in the timeline. Theoretically, it shouldn't allow it to happen. It should reject you trying to go through and you'll just bounce back. Portal open. It's about 10 minutes ago. Interesting. So my theory's wrong. Good to know. So even if you take something capable of observation out of the universe... By the way, you left the leaf in that universe. In your universe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The leaf's still here, and you're in its past, technically. See what happens if you interact with it while it's here. Might act exactly the same as the coconuts did. Try, chipping the end off of it.
Just the end.
Just the end.
Oh, it just got a bit shorter. Once again, a blink and you miss it kind of deal. So your universe's protection only exists for stuff of your universe, not anything in it. Good to know. Hmm. You lot got any theories?
I have nothing.
Unfortunately, I'm drawing blanks here.
So, your universe. Okay. It
Yes.
has these set points that you can enter. But here,
I've done scans. There's points in, like a couple points in the 1900s, like World War One and World War Two are pretty big ones. A lot of the Cold War is encompassed in one. The Y2K crisis, so 1999 to 2000. There's a couple in the early 2010s when, well, I started inventing the time machine about 2015. There's the one that encompasses from then to my present, so to speak. Theoretically, we can enter in any of those times.
theoretically.
Although, I'm not sure how time dilation is going to play with that. This universe, from my observations, had a time dilation of about 2 to 1. Every second in metaverse reality was about 2 seconds here, but while you're here, it's collapsed to 1 to 1. Exactly. And just jumps around, depending on who is the active observer, so to speak.
Okay.
Trust me, this is hurting my head as much as it's probably hurting yours.
I don't think there's much else we can do here.
Well, our situation just got a whole lot easier. If we can go into the past of my timeline, that makes things a lot easier to resolve.
Yeah.
Give ourselves basically unlimited time, theoretically.
What would
The
be...
ethical.
As long as we
What
don't
would be
accidentally change
the
myself out
main-
of existence.
Yeah. That would be the concern.
Give me a blood sample and we can make sure that doesn't happen. Ancestry.
You want to clone me?
Yeah, that way we can... No, so we can
No,
identify
I want
who
to,
is part of
your
your ancestry,
ancestors.
so we don't fuck with
Oh,
them.
yeah. I'll take a blood test.
That's actually a good idea.
I mean, hell, if you go back to the If we went back to like the American
We could
Revolution,
try replicating something here.
potentially, I can send a replicator through.
See what happens.
See what happens if something is made from this place.
Yeah.
Hell, a camera could be probably very useful. See how a camera operates. So we've seen what a camera from our place does. The recording is consistent to your memory, as it is also a thing capable of observation. It retains its same observation as your reality. But something from this place wouldn't do that, maybe. Alright, opening portal.
Okay.
Replicator.
Okay. So we want to replicate something that is capable of observation. So probably.
First of all, return to the present, probably for the best. And then put the camera down in the present, go to the past, make a change, and see what the camera sees when you return to the present.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay.
We place the camera facing the trees so we can
Yeah.
get a view of us doing something.
Also, get a recording of yourself saying something.
Okay. Set up a tripod. Test 1, 2, 3. June Sanderland. Time is around 2036 Pacific Zafira time. And we're about to fuck around and find out. Alright. Wonderful. Let's test this.
Okay.
Well done.
Again!
Another.
One more time then.
Okay.
There you go.
Alright, you view the camera and I'll peel some bark off or something.
The camera is not here because this is the past.
But she's, making sure it's connected.
I'm peeling some fucking bark off while I'm observing the camera.
Yep.
And as you peel off the bark, you can see on the camera feed, the bark just disappear off the tree. As
Yep,
you scrub
that
through
bark
its like video
disappears.
buffer, as you scrub through the video buffer, it is gone, and also the camera's internal recording from when you started. It's even in the back. It's also missing in the background from when you were speaking,
It never.
as if it was
it
never
was
there.
there, even when I was speaking. Okay. How about?
Okay, so the observational thing only applies to stuff from our reality. Anything from this reality, it
Yep.
shows that that's just how it always was.
How easy is it?
The phone disappears from the camera feed and reappears on the ground instantaneously, as it is now sat in that exact position.
She is going to pick it up.
As you pick it up, it disappears
the replicator
completely.
is still here. Yes.
Yep.
Alright, she's gonna run this through the replicator.
What are you making?
Another fern, basically.
Made out of metaversal materials rather than the one from this universe,
Yes.
I assume. Cool.
Mhm.
You now have 2 ferns. 1 original, 1 metaversal.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take the metaversal and drop it on the ground for a second.
It reappears on the camera feed. It reappears.
And drop the other one.
2 leaves are now stacked on top of each other on the camera feed.
Okay. Alright, if this copy does not go through the same, well, processes the original does, seen theoretically, if we were to have to clone someone or clone something or replicate something using metaversal materials, then it could.
Something fucky is actually happening right now. Hold on, I need to consult the rules. Something very interesting might happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to head out soon as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you
we'll wrap this up
observed
soon.
the metaversal leaf when it was on the camera feed and in front of you,
Mhm.
as you reach to pick it up, it is now intangible.
The metaversal one?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. Okay. So the replicated leaf remains locked once I dropped it.
It was the moment you observed it on the camera feed.
Meaning that once it's observed, it is also locked, despite it being of metaversal materials. It will.
It might be the same theory as what happened with your finger, because your finger also went intangible when you observed
Yep.
both. Probably the same theory in action.
Okay. Anything else that we need to test here?
Can you open the portal back? I need to take my leave.
Aye, portal's open, same as before.
Okay. Yep. I'm going.
Have a good one.
I think. I don't know if I can test anything else here. How about you, Cronus?
The exact same effect would happen if you were next to the camera. However, the camera's still there, right? You know the exact position it's in?
Yep.
Slam down a tree where it would be. And see if it auto-corrects. See if
You could replicate a sapling, maybe. That'd probably be easier. Out of materials from this place, so it's not metaversal.
Let's try that first. Data sample, put it through the replicator.
It pulls
Replicate
excess like
sapling.
minerals and stuff out of the air, the trees, and the sand around it to replicate using this universe's materials, not its internal storage.
Yep. Okay. Sapling. We've made a sapling from the past, replicated from tree. Any thoughts, Cronus? On what we should do?
As I said, not to make another tree, to cut down this tree and make it land specifically where the camera would be in the future, to see if our future versions would auto-correct it.
Look at this happening here, and replicator out of the way.
So you're trying to knock the tree into the where the camera would be.
Into where the camera would be, yeah.
Alright, as you watch the camera feed as you do this, the tree falls over, and you suddenly see on the feed, it suddenly glitches slightly and it's suddenly just in a different position. Just off to the side. The tree visible, fallen over in the feed, buried slightly in the sand.
And even in the recording, everything.
Yes, even in the recording.
Yep. Checking buffer. Nope.
Yep.
Okay.
It's always there, it would seem.
Seems like it remained.
Here's a test. Hold on. Cut down quite a few trees. Cut them into a position onto the ground, warning our future selves not to record the video. See what happens.
I mean, you could just draw something into the sand. It should still be there in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Alright.
Draw something nice and big
Use
into the sand.
As you write it out,
You heat up your blade and do it.
yeah. As you write it out, you feel like a vertigo feeling again as you write the letters. The feed glitching slightly, and as you finish writing, the feed just disappears.
Mhm.
Connection
Yep.
lost.
There goes the feed.
And then wipe it away. As if it was never there.
She kicks it.
The feed reappears,
See if the feed
full
was-
recording and all.
Okay.
We can send messages to the future, and theoretically a message could be sent to the past like that, which would alter things.
My head hurts.
Fair.
I'm shocked that none of this has caused a paradox yet.
Is it... Okay, what's a surefire way to cause a paradox?
Meet
No, that
yourself,
is just
which
us.
you've already done.
Remote chassis. Mm-hmm.
You've already met yourself, and that's usually the surefire way to cause one. Hurt yourself in the past. Cause some change to your past self if you meet them.
June, get the fuck out of this reality. This is gonna
Why?
be fascinating. I'm
What are
starting
you
another
doing?
road chassis. I'm finding my past version and killing it.
Okay.
You know how to actually kill yourself, right? You're not gonna try and then accidentally fuck it up.
Nope. I know exactly how to kill myself.
Out of context, that sounds terrible, by the way.
Well, granted.
Alright, I will return back.
that will fuck you up. That might fuck up this entire universe. Let's keep this in mind, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Alright, I'm just gonna DM handle this, because you can't really meet yourself. There is no way to represent that in-game. So, you go to the future, just when you had first arrived here, like the originally arrived, walked up to yourself, and shot yourself. Immediately, you return to your main body, back in the metaverse, as if you were, like just snap as if you just lost connection to your chassis. Go in Viz, return to the other area. Blah 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 blah. Can't change back to Luca. New chassis, wonderful. You caused something. The universe is still stable. I think it just changed again. But the moment you shot yourself, I lost connection with you. And, well, you've just remote chassied in again. So I assume you probably just ceased to be. I'm gonna open a portal to a few seconds after you did that.
Let's see what happened to the chassis.
Well, a couple minutes actually. Let's avoid meeting the other yous who were just there. Who you just shot one of their version of you. Unless you want to try that. Your past selves might not be very happy with you.
Probably not.
Up to you.
Unless.
I mean, they'd probably be aware that he didn't actually die because remote chassis, so probably they'll actually be fine with it, if you explain yourself.
Fuck it.
Maybe we'll do it.
Okay, so, because again, I can't represent you meeting yourselves. There is no way to represent that. So these will always be kind of like pause, explain RP, continue the moment you separate kind of deal. You would have re-entered, relatively speaking, about 2 seconds after you had originally entered, just after he had like shot himself. A couple seconds have passed since then. As you re-enter, you could see a, let's see. You would see your original chassis with a hole in its head lying on the ground. Only one of them. The other two kind of like blinking for a second as like they're coming out of what looks like vertigo. And if you question them, they would probably answer the questions from their future selves, being very confused. They would say that Cronus just kind of head exploded, fell over. From their perspective, they don't remember seeing two of him.
Fascinating.
And then you send them on their way, as to not prevent a paradox, and we return to now. I'm also going to reset it to noon, because that's when it is.
As I told you before, Cronus is a code to pretty much disable himself. Cronus would walk
as you look
over
at your old body,
and repair the fucker. See what would happen.
as you repair it, quantum probability lock again. As you repair yourself, all the prior timeline restores itself in an instant, which then immediately leads it to killing itself again, which then leads to this exact instant again. So, in a flash, as you repair it, there is a sudden flash of ultraviolet light across your visions, and suddenly it's just back broken again.
There we are.
Huh.
It's broken again as if it was never fixed.
There we...
So peculiar.
You must have reconstructed a timeline which would have led to the exact circumstances occurring again. And then every set.
Now let's do it again. Let's repair it now on our current timeline. Probably nothing will happen.
As you repair it, the exact same thing happens again. The timeline going off that theory, the timeline would reconstruct itself, and in a flash of ultraviolet light, it is broken again. From your perspectives.
Huh. Okay. Grab this chassis, throw it in. The portal.
Alright. Go in the portal.
Alright, it's on my end.
Throw in to go and repair it.
Now you successfully repair the chassis, and from your perspective on your little, like, whatever monitor it is, you see that mirror chassis pop up as one of your available options again.
So, I fix it. Nothing happened here. Metaverse can't be changed. It's a forever constant. Fascinating. Does this answer most of your questions, Luca? Do you have a theory on bringing...
I mean, if you try... I'm curious what would happen if you try to bring a past version of yourself and yourself through the portal. That might actually cause a paradox.
Good question.
Should I go? Goodness.
Probably.
Alright. Pulling out.
I'm gonna use the older chassis.
Alright, pause. You'd use the time machine, find a past version of yourself, and drag them through the portal. Return to present. Stand by. There we go. By the way, on desktop, you can just look directly upwards and you should be able to hit the collider when you're in there.
I have, but it doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh boy, this is... Congrats, you actually caused the paradox. So, stand by while I explain what happens. As you pull the other you through, the moment you both step through the portal, the other you, the past you, immediately disintegrates and you see the portal collapse behind you. Oh, portal just died.
There we go.
Portal's dead.
And now reality is now corrupted.
I'm running some tests to make sure. I can't open a portal. It's not there anymore.
Yep.
Those coordinates are invalid.
What is your theory? Does that answer all your questions?
There's a lot of new ones.
You can always experiment more with it later. That'll work best. However, in my opinion, that drastically opens up your chances of survivability.
Yep. We can go into my past. That already helps.
Now we just have to figure out what to chain.
We had to make sure
We're gonna have to follow the rules that we...
all we had to stop is that strike force. So we had to stop that strike force whatever means necessary. Which means backtracking where that strike force came from. Theoretically, we could go in maybe like an hour before they attacked us, and then go further and further and further back in the time stream until we find where they came from. Theoretically.
Give us the layout of the building. If you've worked there.
It was a lab. It was in a little underground bunker because, you know, kind of end of the world research that we're dealing with.
How many entrances?
3 if you include the escape exit. There was the shipping entrance, there was the personnel entrance, and then there was the emergency escape hatch, which was a one-way exit. Basically, explosive bolts on a wall that would blow it open, given an open path out.
Given the trajectory that they came from, which entrance do you reckon they came from?
We think they came through the cargo, came in hidden within some boxes, broke out, managed to overpower the guards, and fight their way through the facility. That's what I remember.
Okay. Fascinating. You want to see something horrifying?
Shoot.
June. I can't do it in this chassis. It's probably more comfortable with your left hand. The one that isn't a machine looking. Sorry, right. But Luca, get close to June. Walk over. They can mimic how your hand looks. And theoretically, given time, your entire structure and voice.
If you want to use that to try and get into the door, you'll need my handprint and you'll need my retina scan.
Okay, I would just need a medical scan. Hold on. Take some glasses, fix those on. Alright. Scanning. Up, down. This, out of character, this would
They
take
are
like...
100% human.
This would take like about 10 minutes. Because she is...
Move over to the chair.
Yep. We move over to the chair. This is copying, like...
10 minutes pass.
Basically everything. 10 minutes pass. Alright, and done. Sorry about the long wait. Okay.
Well, that should give you access to the facility.
And transforms into his... Okay. That works. And transforms back. Yep. Try the eyes. Eyes transform. Change retina shape. Alright.
Now, I'm going to buy us some more time. I'm going to open a portal back into my reality, but in the 1920s. Just at the tail end of the Second World War.
Alright.
Or the First World War, sorry. And that should buy us about 100 years, if my theory's right. Because it should reset its present to our present, its present relative to then. Portal opens and closes immediately, as he just turns it on and off. Oh, would you look at that? Off the chart. That should give us plenty of time.
Sweet. So you're no longer going
I'm no
to
longer
die.
imminently doomed.
Yet. Yep. That's good.
Well,
Okay.
I'll start putting a plan together. I have to narrow down the spatial coordinates, because currently I just opened a portal in fucking deep space, because I don't know exactly where Earth is. I have to narrow that down still.
That's fine.
That's the bit that takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, we have
Sounds
accidentally
like,
erased the universe here
something-
today. Congrats.
It's a universe that didn't exist
At least
anyway.
there's-
There was nothing in it.
At least there wasn't anything
As
in
far as
there.
my scans said, there was
Fingers
no
crossed.
life anywhere, but well, relatively speaking, I didn't check every
Please.
inch of the universe. Bit big.
Mhm.
I see.
So take that on your conscience as you will.
Don't worry, I looked around a little. There was something, not a sentient species, not a species at all. That I looked around and there was a planet nearby which we could have went to that was already in the depth of a nuclear apocalypse. There was no survivors.
Love
It
to
was a
see
crater.
it.
That planet had life and it was gone.
Okay. Out of
Well.
character, I just clicked. Anyways. Okay. Well. Guess I'll head back to my apartment for a bit.
Yep. I'll contact you when I'm ready to do some bullshit. We'll see if we can pull it off first try or not.
Let me know.
Worst case, I can just pull us back another couple hundred years.
Yep. Hopefully we won't have to do that, but hey.
So, what's that logo on your chest?
Yes? European Federation Temporal Institute. Which I am the head of.
Institute. Okay. For all intents and purposes, that's probably going to be the code name of this operation.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
For all intents and purposes, this is a technology that no one, and I mean not many, should get their hands on.
Yeah.
It may not be deadly to the metaverse, but that could result in some interesting things.
Aye.
Per
And if
se.
your experimentation's correct, you could theoretically actually kill yourself if you kill your past self, because you destroyed your chassis, and that immediately caught up to the present. If you had done the same, you might just be dead.
Correct, meaning they could.
Maybe.
Which is why that technology will get into no one's hands. The TI is, for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist.
Of course.
Fair enough, I
It's just
suppose.
another project.
Mhm.
Be very careful, and I'll help you with security in this measure.
Hey, I've got some of your fancy drone whatsits outside, currently keeping the door locked down. Any more would be helpful.
Correct. If you get any more people for this
Gonna
operation,
power all this system down now, just so we're not draining the power grid.
Yep.
I think that's everything.
Well, it's excellent running experiments, and I hope we can solve the problem soon. Have a good one.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh,
Oh, buddy, oh, pal.
fucking God.
Oh, buddy, oh, pal.
My God. My
Isn't that just
God.
hilarious?
Oh my God, Oh my God,
My
you had
head
to make
hurts.
me think. Oh my God.
You discovered some of the more obscure rules as well. I'm happy for that. You discovered quantum collapse.
Oh, great.
That's one of the really obscure rules.
Oh, great.
Because you force the
We did it,
probability to
guys.
happen.
We did it.
God. think about all of it, Grimsy.
Guys.
Think about all of it. The TI as Cronus.
Bro, fucking.
What Cronus was mainly fearful of is never let the IMC touch it. Or this or that.
Yeah, never let the IMC get their hands on it, because that is just effect and cause all over again. But they have control, rather than the militia.
Mm-hmm.
Time travel, everybody.
Don't let the IMC hear about it.
And that's why Cronus is like... That's for all purposes, Cronus is like, the TI is confidential. They're just teleporters.
OPSEC
It's just a
mode.
teleporting branch.
Time to OPSEC.
OPSEC mode engage.
And now I have to get a map for the next bit.
Yep.
Great. Oh, you were streaming.
We still had to do the
right,
Lethos scene at some point. Fuck me.
Yes.
We're not even
we can
done
do
yet.
That a different day. We can do that a different day.
If you want to, sure.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
That hurt my
I'm so
brain too
fucking,
much.
Like, brain dead. I can't. Oh god. That tested me, bro. That tested me.
Well, now you know the rules.
Oh my god.
I hope you remember them.
I may write them down.
Have them
Or I'll write them
Yeah.
down.
That's TK.
You still haven't, you still haven't even found all the rules yet,
And write them down or something.
which is the funny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other rules require there to be other observers present that aren't from the metaverse.
Yeah.
And, like, actually changing events.
We only have one.
God, that was... Jesus Christ. We did it. If you can...
Time travel.
TK.
Yeah.
If you can, I'm probably gonna ask Kratos very similar. Crotus might eventually, if you could send like a albedo or an alpha or something on the new model, I might like on the suit have a few logos on there. Arc being in the middle and a couple of others around.
I mean, all the transparent logo for that is
And
in the server.
Okay, because I might place that on him.
Smile.
And I'm
gonna end my stream.
A few things with Cronus. Alright.